Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot and a PMDG 777 beta tester. Welcome to our next sector in the PMDG Boeing 777, today flying from San Francisco over to Honolulu, which is about a 4 hours 45 minutes flight. Let's go ahead and take a seat in our beloved Boeing 777 and we are going to start getting this one ready for operations. We're flying the United Airlines livery today with the original United config provided by PMDG. So let's go ahead and start with the basics over here. As always, getting on board the aircraft, first things we do is to check that we've got sufficient oil quantity in there. We are going to check that we have sufficient hydraulics, APU, oil quantity and oxygen pressure, and we can go ahead with the oxygen test down here as well. Next we are going to just clear and recall all of those ICAS messages, and then we are going to review everything that's shown over here to be sure that that is all within limits of what we're expecting at this point in time. Great, so with that out of the way, first things first, I am going to turn on the aileron so that it can start aligning, and then we can go ahead and have a look down here at our electronic flight bag, and we can request our flights data. So let's have a look into our briefing real quick. We're going to start with our significant weather charts. So the overview already tells us that there is a fairly straightforward flight in the truest sense of the word. And there is a little bit of embedded thunderstorms here up to flight level 360 along the middle of the route just prior to Billow. But apart from that, a little bit of turbulence maybe as well. No, not really. This one relates to the marked area on top over here. So overall we're expecting quite okay weather conditions for our entire flight. Now let's go ahead and have a look into the little bit more detailed weather over here. Okay, SIGMATs, that is exactly what we have already seen on the chart as well. So for our departure San Francisco, we have good weather conditions all over, 15 degrees centigrade, not exactly too warm, but nonetheless, a couple hours later in Hawaii we're expecting 27 degrees, excellent weather conditions, and they are using runway 4 for landing at the moment. For our alternates, Hilo is our primary today, and we've got wonderful weather conditions there as well. So with all of that in mind, let's go ahead and decide on the amount of fuel to carry today, and the flight plan wants us going at 111,000 pounds. I really don't see why we should take any more than that, so let's make that 111. Okay, wonderful. So with the fuel quantity decided, I'd say it's about time we're going to start working on our flight. So, starting down here with our FMC setup, please. Enter inertial position, you're about to get that, my friend. And we are going to use the GPS for that, and then we can go for the route request, sim brief, set payload, set fuel, and select routes. And while that is in progress, I'm going to go down here onto the fuel page and make that 111. Here we go. That is looking better. Perfect. So, route uplink available. Let's select load. And all the other uplinks are coming. So in the meantime, what are we gonna do? A Gunner 3 departure towards Bebop. Let's go ahead and find some charts for that. Departure, airport, and we need the general airport charts. We also need the parking gates, and then for the SIDs we are looking at the Gunner 3 departure. Here it is. Excellent. So looks like the uplink is ready. So San Francisco departure 28 left, Gunner 3 towards Bebop. And for the arrival at the moment, they're using the ANAV on runway 4 over at Hawaii. Let's go ahead and have a look real quick at what runway will be best for our arrival here. Runway 4, so that's probably gonna end up on 4 right then. Interesting to see that they're using these, but that's what the real world ATIS says, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's have a quick look then so our star is going to be the Inouye 1 arrival, and that's what we have down here, leading us onto the final over here, right? So via Haubab. So runway 4 right, on-off approach, and what do we have here? Well, let's go ahead and take the Zulu approach, because why not? So, on-off Zulu 4 right, Inouye 1 arrival, and we are coming from Bitter and the Haubab transition. Alright, so quick look over at our route. We are going via Gunner 3, Romeo 464 towards Bitter, and then the Inouye 1 arrival. Alright, activate, execute. Then let's go ahead and check the sit. So, Gunner 3 departure. Looks like we're going straight at 513 feet, and then via Gunner above 2,500. Direct to Bebop. Easy going. Initial climb 3,000 feet, so fairly low level off, but that is gonna be fine. Alright, perfect. Then let's go on with our flight deck, or rather our FMS setup for now. Import all the winds. Quick check on the VNAV page. Transition 18,000 is correct. Progress page 2,115 nautical miles versus 2,110. We can mark our MSA on KSFO. Here we go, /25 miles. Alright then. Accept the performance init uplink. And a quick check down at our fuel. So alternate is 12.3 plus 7.3, so we're at 19.6 if I see that right. Here we go, cruising 340, cost NX 80, minimum fuel temperature -37 is correct, and the cruise CG 30. Okay, noise abatement procedure number 1. Acceleration in 1000. And that should be all for now. Perfect. So that's our FMS setup completed for the time being. Then let's go over the overhead panel. No ground power today, but, well, so be it. Refueling is complete, so passenger sides can come on. Everything's set, everything set, and everything set. So leads us down to the main panel. Okay, reset all, and then onto the comms. So, flight information, ATIS request, and we are looking at San Francisco. Getting the VATSIM data here, and send. We can do that route copy, by the way. Okay, so, awaiting the weather. In the meantime, let's do the FO's EFIS panel. All set. Onto the main panel. Set frequencies 1 to 2.8 into the number 1 and 1 to 1.5 into the VHF right. And if we're doing a radio setup already, let's also check for our departure frequency. So, NorCal departure 1351. Gonna pre-select that one on the third radio here. 1351, perfect. Okay, we are doing single pilot ops today, so we are definitely gonna go out in Honolulu for a little layover before we're flying back tomorrow. And that means we don't need to set up the third audio control panel. In the meantime, the weather has arrived. San Francisco information echo. Wind 308, visibility over 10, temperature 15, altimeter 3006. And here we go, that is all set. Wonderful. So then, let's make sure that the parking brake is set. Is it? It is. Interesting. Why is it not recognized? Oh, because the brake accumulator pressure is low again. Ground from flight deck? Yeah, go ahead. Can we pressurize hydraulics? You're clear to pressurize. Roger. Okay, right elect pump coming on. Let's charge that up. And now, here we go. Parking brake is set. And that's about as easy as it gets. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead with the departure briefing, please. Threats for the departure, I have to admit I don't really see any. So, for the route check, we're going from San Francisco to Honolulu United 1175, which is a real-world flight on that route. Routing is via Bebop, Romeo 464 towards Bidda. And then we are flying the standard arrival, which checks, and the ground distance 2115 versus 2110. That is close enough for my taste. Okay, time UTC 1629, altimeter is 3006, reading about 30 feet. Flight directors are on, standby instruments set. It's gonna be a left-sea takeoff off 28 left, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 1, procedure 2, and we have no specials. For emergencies, straight at 500 feet, right and turn over the San Francisco Bay Area, and then we pick up a hold. Climbing 4,000. Climb to 4,000, and then we can return as necessary. Now, for the taxi, fairly straightforward as well. Push back into the bay, and with that I do definitely not mean the San Francisco Bay, but push back down here into the south taxi line and then taxi out, most likely via Alpha, all the way across, and then continue from Alpha onto Foxtrot, crossing 1 left and right, which are active for departures, for a full length 28 left departure. Following the Gunner 3 departure, which is straight at 500 feet, and thereafter a Gunner above 2,500. And on that one we gotta pay a little bit of attention here to make sure that we're actually able to make the 2,500 restriction. I mean, it's like 6 miles out from the departure end of runway, so I'm not too worried at all, but just to have that in mind. And thereafter it's a left turn to Bebop, climbing initially altitude 3,000. You have any questions about that? Nope? Beautiful. In that case, pre-flight checklist complete. Oh, well, no, not complete, but pre-flight checklist. It's early. Oxygen, tested 100%. Flight instruments, heading 195, altimeter 3006, reading 30 set left, set right. Pre-flight checklist complete. Alright then, so they still have a couple of open doors. Let's go ahead and change that. In the meantime, we can also get GSX for our pushback, please. So, ground ops. Chocks can be removed. Door management, close all. Ground service vehicles, release all. And that is looking good. So, that should be all doors closed. Cabin crew, all doors in flight. Ladies and gentlemen, very warm welcome aboard this United Airlines Flight 1175. If you have not been dragged off the aircraft yet, congratulations, and we would like to wish you an enjoyable trip to Hawaii. The flight time today in the region of about 5 hours at a cruising altitude of 34,000 feet. Thank you very much for being our guest. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make your flight more comfortable, please don't hesitate to contact any of our flight attendants. Thank you very much, and welcome on board. Okay, so the cabin is dealt with, then let's go ahead with our performance. So zero fuel is 488.3, which is the same as the flight plan. Okay, 599.3 versus 598.1, that's close enough, including taxi fuel as well. So San Francisco, 28 left. Yeah, 3,500 meters should be roughly accurate. Import the weights, import the weather, calculate. Takeoff 2, 45 degrees. So takeoff 2 at 45 degrees. Flaps 5 takeoff. We'll take the trim from here, 4.5 units is okay. Speeds 165, 168, 171. And those are all within 1 knots, so we can take the FMC speeds. Very good. In that case, ground from flight deck. Go ahead. So please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. That's all confirmed, Captain. Okay, thank you very much. Confirm we're clear to pressurize the hydraulics? Clear to pressurize. Roger. So, 171, LNAV, VNAV. Nope, didn't mean to press that. Flight directors off and on. So, runway heading 284, climbing initially altitude 3000. Right hydraulic system first, wait till the fault light is out, then we do the others. Okay, trim 4.5. And P4 start checklist down to the line, please. So, flight deck door. Closed and locked. MCP. V2 171, heading 284, altitude 3000. Takeoff speeds. V1 165, VR 168, V2 171. CDU pre-flight completed. Trim 4.5 units, 0 and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing completed. Holding at beacon. So let's see. We are all clear behind. Ground flight deck. Go ahead. So clear to push and the parking brake still set. So nose to the right. Okay, please release parking brake. B4 start checklist completed. Parking brake released, clear to push. Stand by for engine start. Ooh, very nice. Look at that. Guy going out to 28 left and then a visual 28 right following right thereafter. That's how you like it. Alright, so 17 minutes and we're already pushing back. That is really good. But the 777 is a very easy aircraft to set up. Takes a lot less time than it does on, for example, the 737. An interesting story here is that Boeing originally had planned to give the 777 cockpit to the 737NG as well. It was only for the resistance of carriers like Southwest that they didn't do that, and that they stuck to a cockpit similar to the 737 Classic. Right, ground flight, clear to start engines. Roger, starting left engine. Clear left. I was about to start doing or announcing the numbers down here, but 777, we don't need to do that. Automatic engine start. I love it. We have good starting 1, starting 2. So, right engine start. Pushback complete, set your brakes. Parking brake set. And here's something many flight simmers don't really seem to know or do. That's before you tell the ground crew that the parking brake is set, you actually gotta verify that the ICAS message shows up here. Just like, for example, in the Airbus, where you can actually see the brake pressure indicator and where you can see the pressure building up, in the 777 it does also take a little bit of time for the brake pressure to set up, so you basically want to wait that time before you are going to tell the crew to remove anything else that might hold the airplane into position. Okay. So we have 2 good engine starts. Your clear disconnect showing the sign on the left with a pin. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Okay, so there she comes, and she's holding a pin in her hands. Excellent. Very good, then we can go ahead and do the flight control check, please. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Before taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Auto. Recall. Checked. Flight controls. Checked. Ground equipment. Clear. Before taxi checklist complete. Clear on the left side. Clear on the right side. Bring the taxi chart up as well. Here we go. Parking brake released. Let's go. Honolulu, here we come. So we're going to remain on the inner taxiways for now. That means taxiway Alpha. And honestly, the more often I'm flying into and out of San Francisco over here, the more impressed I am with the awesome job that Flightbeam has done simulating this airport. Okay, clear on all sides and off to the right over here. Let's get that speed back down to 10 knots or less. Here we go. Such a nice aircraft to taxi. The 777 just is a very well done aircraft in all aspects. So the right hand side is clear, the left hand side is concrete. Then let's make sure we get around that turn. Always a little bit of a challenge when you fly so many different aircraft types as we do in flight simulation, but personally I kind of get back into taxiing the different types fairly quickly. Okay, the cabin's ready. Before takeoff checklist? Before takeoff checklist complete. So, clear on both sides. Looks like they turned to using runway 19 for takeoff. That's interesting. I haven't seen them do that yet in the real world. Which, of course, doesn't mean that it is never done, but... oh well, let the AI be AI. What an amazing aircraft to look at. I really can't wait to show you all the freighter. Hopefully soon. But for now, that 300ER is also a beautiful aircraft. So that guy's, yeah, parking very tight to the line. Should be fine. Now comes the challenge of crossing the runway. We go straight on Foxtrot. And then we have at least one aircraft departing over there. Gotta time that runway crossing well, so that he's gone by the time we get there. Okay, the Southwest is lining up. Let's make sure we cross before they go. Singapore, A350. Departing right towards the hills. I kind of want to see what the AI is going to do. Let's have a look at that. Okay, easily going above it. Though I have a feeling if an engine had failed at that point, would probably not have gone as easy. Okay, so no traffic on 19 left. And clear the runways, strobe light is going off. Okay, let's review that departure briefing over here. So it is going to be left seat takeoff off runway 28 left, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure 2, and our takeoff speeds are going to be 165, 168, 171. The sit is straight ahead for about 6 miles, then a left turn out, initial climb altitude 3,000 feet. No specials, engine out, straight at 500 feet, right hand turn over the bay area, and then we are going to circle ourselves up over the bay to 4,000 feet, and then we can come back for a landing over here. 28 left, 28 right, both available. Any questions? No? Perfect. In that case, let's see, arriving traffic somewhere about 6 miles out. We should be able to make that. Provided that we are not held up by traffic taking off from the crossing runway. But it looks like there are a couple aircraft there. Well, it doesn't matter, we'll find a spot. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Are you ready? Yes. Okay, I'll do non-standard here. I'll go onto the terrain display. Because of the terrain we have in the departure sector. Okay, clear on the left side. One guy's rolling over there. And once he's crossed our runway, it'll be our turn. Okay, that guy is coming. Take off. Set takeoff thrust. Thrust set. $80 knots. Checked.
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. $400. Okay, we can see everything. Should be an easy go. So, flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps up. Speed checked. Okay, so after takeoff checklist complete. Then let's continue the climb. Say 10,000 or so. Autopilot. Lovely. Really lovely. Okay, not sure where that guy is going, but he seems to be clear of us. Okay, so let's see. We are going to climb initially recommended 340. Yeah, so we climb 340. Set 340 tracked. And cancel the timer down here since we have the elapsed timer running. Okay, so that stuff is looking pretty good for now. At Bebop, I think we make the Oceanic entry. Nope, one further at Body. That's fine with me as well. Step climb 360 at Billow. Here we go. So, arriving at 21:39. Let's see, and the schedule is 21:55. Perfect. And look at that, exactly per the plan. We are good today. We are very good today. Okay then, so rate of climb is looking good. No need to cancel the climb derate over here. Approaching 10,000, and I'd say we can release our passengers. I really don't expect any turbulence here. We're gonna wait a little bit with the lights until we're out of 18,000, just in case there's any VFAR traffic crazy enough to fly that far over the ocean. But you never know. Alright, then let's go ahead and start setting up for the Oceanic portion of the flight. So if we have a look at the bottom of the flight plan, we can find our EDTO information over here. Based on 138 minutes, well, easy going. Okay, so entry from San Francisco, and the exit is based on Hilo. So /410 and then PHTO, and also 410. Then let's have a look. For the equal time point, we're looking at 1072 from San Francisco and 953 from Hilo. Here we go. Alternates, definitely San Francisco, Hilo, and I think that should keep us covered for now. Apart from that, nothing interesting in here. That's all the standard stuff. Not really much we need to do. Okay. So that is pretty much of the stuff that we had to do for now completed. So I'd say we are going to speed this one up a little bit, and then I see you as we are closing in on our destination. Hello everyone, we're in the descent towards Honolulu, and we are just about ready to start our approach briefing. Few things though, let's go ahead and turn on the lights. It's beautiful weather conditions over here, as we can already clearly see outside. Really looking forward to overflying that ridge over here. That just looks spectacular from our present position. Now, nonetheless, we need to do a little bit of work inside the aircraft, so let's start by collecting the latest weather information. And we can find that down here, ATIS request and PHNL, search VATSIM, and we can do the automatic updates over here as well. We've had an uneventful crossing of the Pacific Ocean. As you have seen, we did fly 2 miles right offset in the slot procedure. Apart from that, we are basically doing standard stuff over here. Looks like we need to help the aircraft a little bit slowing down though. So let's go ahead and use a little bit of speed brake. And then we've just overflown Bambo, so we can go ahead and start our approach briefing, please. So threats for the arrival, QNH blunder error since we are flying a non-precision approach. But we're just requesting the latest weather information here again. So we are going to verify the QNH with that. Apart from that, I don't see any threats over here, do you? Nope, excellent. So here comes the weather, then we can mitigate against the threats straight away. So the wind 050 at 5, visibility greater than 10, clouds few 2,500, 27 degrees 2998, which is set on all 3 altimeters. Okay. So that's that stuff. Then let's go ahead and start our actual briefing. In the meantime, we can descend 8,000 to follow the arrival. So the speeds are in, forecast page is in, fixed rings around Honolulu, around 25 miles. We do not need any radio aids over here. Then for our arrival itself, we are going to fly the RMP approach as mentioned, or the ANAF approach, Zulu runway 4 right, starting out at Halbab, and via Halbab we go onto that nice little RF flag onto the final approach here. One could think I've chosen it because of that one. Alright, so once we're established on the final approach fix is going to be at Pearly in 1500 feet, 3-degree glide path, and we're going down to a minimum with an RMP of 0.3 of 432 feet. So RMP 0.3, we can go ahead and enter that already. 0.3 and vertical 125, that way we do get an alert if we exceed our maximum limits for the approach itself. So 0.3, 125 is both verified. Then, in case I missed approach, we do climb to 580 feet, then climbing right turn to 3000, direct Alana and hold. So looking at this, on the runway track 580 to Alana, 3000 feet and hold. And for the holding itself, that's defined as 351 right-hand turns and 4 nautical miles. So 351 right turns, 4 nautical miles is all in. Perfect. Arrival fuel is 28.5 versus a minimum of 19.6, so that leaves us with roughly 8,000 pounds extra. And 8,000 pounds equates to, let's just have a look at that fuel slip again. So around about half an hour that we have in terms of extra fuel. Okay, excellent. So 28.5, currently 29.6, so we are burning about 1,000 pounds, which makes a landing weight of 517. There we go, that's gonna be a flaps 30 landing over here. Auto brakes, we'll use something fairly high today, probably even 4. Let's go ahead and run the predictions, because I do want to be sure to make that first exit. So 4 right, import aircraft details, import weather, let's do some calculations here. So 2,134 using auto brakes 3 and auto brakes 4 gives us 1,770. The brakes are going to be rather hot, but I take that because I really want to make that first exit, so that we don't have to vacate all the way at the end and then taxi back forward. So looking at the runways themselves, 4 right, and I want to come out at Kilo. Then we'll be crossing 4 left, and then with a left-hand turn onto Zulu towards the apron. And that's going to be our plan for the day. And then off we go to the hotel, and to enjoy some lovely Hawaiian summer. Alright, the descent checklist is completed already. And that's it for the briefing. You have any questions? No? Perfect. So, down to 7,000. And the cabin is ready. Wonderful. So, approach checklist, please. Altimeters, 29998. Approach checklist completed. We just gotta admit, this looks absolutely splendid, doesn't it? And there is the airport. So, 7,000 at Halbab, and thereafter we can continue our descent. We will need the first stage of flaps here, so let's go flaps 1. First we gotta reduce our speed towards 220. And next up we maintain 7,000. I'll tell you what. We don't maintain 7,000, but we descend. 6,300 is next. And that is set. Okay, flaps 1 we have. Apart from that, we'll just keep the aircraft in VNAV for now. And that's pretty much everything we need to do. Except for enjoying the absolutely beautiful look outside onto Hawaii. So next up 5,300. Here we go, set. Okay, so overall, looking pretty beautiful. I like it when a plane is actually doing what you tell it to do. Not that it happens too often in flight simulation, but occasionally it does. Okay, so after the 5,300 comes 4,500. 1 mile prior to the waypoint we can set our MCP down. Here we go. And then we're about to start our final turn. The speed is looking good, we're on speed. That means the aircraft will be able to fly that turn properly. Always something you gotta pay some attention to. Okay, so just to verify, we are flying the non-precision approach, and in order to do that, we use standard procedures. 2 miles prior to the final approach fix, we set our MCP down to the minimum. Standard flap extension schedule, really, and apart from that, LNAV and VNAV as the active modes, and that's it, really. So very straightforward in this aircraft. If we do lose the RNAV capabilities, I will simply continue on the visual approach because, hey, we have the runway in sight already, don't we? Okay, excellent. So that's pretty much everything briefed that we needed to brief here. Okay, turning onto the final, Samui is on the extended center line, and we have the runway inside over there. So we can do the visual anytime we need to. Okay, flaps 5. Speed checked. Flaps 5. So, speed intervent, let's help getting that down. And then next up, 2,500. VNAV path. So, 10 miles out, a little bit fast, let's go ahead and help it somewhat. A little bit of speed brake here. And that speed is coming back very nicely. It's not an A330, that is good, because the A330 is really hard to slow down. Alright, next up 1500. Here we go. Okay, runway heading 044 set. Speed brakes are back in. Terrain noted. Alright, and there is our runway. Going very easy today. So, gear down, flaps 20. Approaching glide path. So, 440 speed, VNAV path, speed intervent. Here we go. Okay, so, crossing Pearly in 1500 and thereafter 3 degrees down. No distance to altitude tables, it seems, but well, we're close enough that we can already see the runway. Let's see, can we make out the puppies? Yeah, exactly on the puppies, then we don't need to do any distance altitude checks. Okay, flaps 30, speed checked. And landing checklist when able. Waiting for the flaps. Here we go. Landing checklist complete. Checklist complete. So, our progress page 4, where we can monitor the RMP progress a little bit better. And that's it. Okay, set go around altitude. 3,000 feet set. Manual flight. If I'm not completely mistaken, it is United SOP to keep the auto throttle on, so we are going to do that. And then the challenge is not to flare too much, because we really want to get that... We really want to make that exit. Yeah, all stabilized. Minimum, continue. Probably gonna make it a little bit more positive, because as mentioned, we do want to get that exit.
$50, $30, $10.
Okay, straight onto the markers. And manual brakes. So, looking good. Here's the exit we wanted to make. So, crossing the runway. And just to be sure, there is, well, as far as we can see, nobody coming from the left. That's probably the best I can say over here. Okay, so straight ahead, second to the left onto Zulu. And then we can go ahead and clean the aircraft up. So the weather radar is off. And off we go to the left. So, I tend to say that was a very good landing. Exactly on the spot. We made the exit perfectly. The brake's gonna be a little warm, but turnaround time for the 777 is gonna be more than long enough in order to more or less make that braking forgotten anyway. So, all in all, a successful flight. Now comes the challenge of finding our gate. And we are gonna park exactly to the right on that one here. That's Golf 7, I believe. Let's see, Golf 5. So, no follow me needed. And here we go. Okay, there's the marshaller doing very interesting marshalling. That's not how I've ever seen it done in the real world. Parking brake set, APU running. Number 1. Number 2. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, ground flight egg, how are you? Good afternoon, how are you doing? Brilliant, thanks. Okay, chocks in position and you can release your brakes. Brakes off. Okay, excellent. So, request deboarding, please. And then we can do the shutdown checklist. Parking brake, released. Shutdown checklist complete. Okay, so messages are normal. That's all looking good. Sounds just about perfect to me. So, thank you very much for flying along, everyone. I sure hope that you have enjoyed this one. Let me know your feedback in the comments below, and let me know if you want me to fly that 777 a little bit more. Surely we can arrange that, and hopefully soon in different types as well. So thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and see you all again on the next one.